Soundwave884 here in a Transformers Legacy review. In this review, take a look at Deluxe Class Kickback, one of the Insecticons. Here is his box. Got his little Insecticon box art here. From the side, you get his robot art. On the back, 14 steps gets you all the way around. It's a very simple transformation. Scan that to get your look at his tech specs and his bio stuff. And here is your Decepticon side box artwork, which you can combine with an Autobot box, and you get the full Legacy artwork. Other things you get, of course, you get his trusty instructions to transform this figure. Very, very simple. You get his gun, which does support blast effects. And then you get these transparent plastic purplish wing things here. They can be weapons. You can plug them in his hands. They go on the side of his arms. They got little tabs on the sides and go on his wings as well. So you can use them in robot mode and in insect mode. And you get Kickback, of course. And it is a lovely figure. And honestly, by the Legacy Deluxes, this is the best looking one in my opinion, just head on in robot mode. It just looks so good. A good mix of the cartoon model with the toy certain ways, because they did give him the transparent glass cover here. And I want to open it. I can't get it to open. I don't want to force anything. Instructions don't show anything about this opening. There's a pin here, and what looks like a hinge. It's probably just pinned in, not meant to move, because it's like it would actually just rub right there, not actually open. But I want to try to open it so bad. Alright, so the accessories, take his gun. You can put this right here in his hand, so he can hold his gun. Either side works. And then you have these right here, which you can... They have these little things on the sides there on the tip that does support blast effects. So if you want like an extra blaster, you want the point facing that way, you can do it. If you don't, you want more like a bladed tip, you can turn it the other way, and you can put it right here on his arms. Or if you don't want to do that, like I said, with these tabs back here, you come to his wings. There are these little slots. It's really hard to see because of the camera, but they're there, and you can just slot this in. And like that, so you can have them up there on his wings. So either way you want to do with these things, you can do multiple things with them.
Everybody got that?
Overall look at the robot mode. He's got a little bit of paint here, some red paint, some yellow paint around here. He's got some greenish paint right there. The Decepticon insignia is right here in the middle of his chest, which is more cartoon accurate. The toys and a lot of stuff, they had it right here on the side. Turn to the side view. You see where his arms are. Up here on the back side. Other ones are hiding under his wrist, and his legs are back here. Not too hollow, really, just up here in the inner thighs. He's got some hollowness there, but that's just things will flip out. And he does get a mask back here to cover his robot face in insect mode, which is pretty cool. Now the wings are different. They're not G1 toy accurate at all. They made them more insect-like. They got the little ridges, like scaling going on. Smooth on this side, mostly. Some little ridges. They do have the markings like the original one had and everything. The scaling kind of hides all that. And the roughness is on the inside, facing his head back here. The tips on the antenna are kind of rubbery plastic. You can kind of move them. That I'm afraid to mess with them too much. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Superion and Combiner Wars, but these are a little more tough, not as floppy as those, or as rubbery as those. Head sculpt is a thing of beauty. I really love the head sculpt here on Kickback. Now this figure might make people who adhere to the Sunbow scale chart upset because of his size. He is deluxe class. He's not small. Most Insecticons, based on the scale chart, they are about the same size as the mini bots like Brawn, Cliffjumper, and the like. Here, this guy is not that size. He is much bigger. And so I'll show some comparisons off right now. Here he is next to Reflector. Now on the scale chart, Reflector is bigger. Not here, of course. And next to Megatron. Earthrise Megatron. To me, the scale is fine. I always thought of them when I watched cartoons as a kid as bigger than, say the mini bots were. But I guess, I'm a stickler for scale myself. I'm kind of try to adhere to that chart. But I think with these guys, this scale is fine. It's not going to bother me that much, because just the overall detailing and look at the figure, I think it works really well. Next to two mini bots, here we have Earthrise Cliffjumper and Netflix Bumblebee, so you can get a size there with them. And next to Kingdom Mirage. And with the original G1 figure and the Titans Returns Legend size kickback, you can see how this scale here might be better for the Sunbow scale chart. But you can see how he sticks really close to the G1 toy here, the transparent. That's more of a goldish color here. Is a more yellowish gold. That's a deeper gold there. But he does look very much like the original toy. And it's throwing in a good mix of the cartoon model there, especially with the head and everything. Now he has less kibbly arms because he's actually done correct with the insect arms as part of his robot arms. Whereas the Titans Returns added it separately in the back. Now, one cool thing about the Titans Returns version is you had ball jointed wings that you could really pose and get expressive with, whereas the wings on this Legacy Kickback is just like the G1 toy. You can just spin them around. You're not going to go. Of course, you can always angle them back, and you can put them down by his sides, however you want to pose those wings. But that's all you're going to get on there. You're not going to get any way to go out more like you can with this guy. All right, articulation on kickback. You get shoulders out to there, biceps bend to there. It doesn't have any wrist swivels. His own molded piece right there. You can spin them. They're really tight, but you can spin them 360 around. Mine has tight joints there. The wings can go like I showed you earlier, and they're pretty tight as well. Head's on a ball joint. You got a little rock, a little up and down. And it can 360 all the way around. And you got to transform it backwards for a robot mode, insect mode anyway. Hips way out there, way to the front, way off to the back. Knee bends to there. Upper thigh swivels. This one's a little loose. That's probably the only loose joint on this figure as far as just that one thigh joint. It's not loose. It's not a loosey-goosey. It's just slightly, it's easy to move, put it that way. Ankle tilts right here. They're actually pretty stiff. That's what she said. Move! That's about as far as I can get that one. I'm not going to force that. I don't force things, so we'll do this one. So you can get ankle tilts out to there. I don't like forcing things, and I'll go more to that in transformation when he gets in insect mode, because I'm not going to be forcing these antennae around like they really want me to, because they don't want to seem to move for me, and I don't want to do anything that's going to cause any kind of stress marks or breakage or tearage or whatever else kind of edge we can add to that. All right, so let's transform kickback. Alright, so that's kickback in his insect mode. Very simple. He pretty much just lays down. And that's, I guess, an easy transformation. It's very simple. It's very much just like the G1 toy. Now, the one thing you're supposed to do that I didn't do is move these antennae up. And so you can see more of the insect face that he's got going on. It's pretty much like a G1 toy has right there. But I get a lot of bend here, but I even grabbing towards the base of the round part, I can't get these to move, and I'm not going to force anything. I don't want to add stress marks or anything of the like to this figure. I'm not going to mess with those any more than I have to. He's going to be in robot mode 90% of the time anyway, so I'm not too fussed about it. But, you know, yours might be able to move easier than mine, because mine don't want to move at all. Wings can be moved to be a little bit more expressive. You can take these like we did earlier, and they can now tap on to the wings like we did when he's in robot mode. So you can have that there, and then the gun can store underneath right here. Now that's if you want to put all this stuff on him. And that is him fully formed into his insect mode. Overall thoughts on the bug mode is not bad. It's an insect mode. It's very G1-esque. I just kind of wish the antenna wasn't the soft plastic, a little more stiff, so I can move it better. Of course, then you just to snap it off easier. So they went this way with it. But otherwise, I mean, it looks cool. I don't really care much for the big purple things. They're probably going to be put to the side most of the time anyway, or given to somebody else. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. But they're there, and otherwise, it's pretty cool. I do like the fact that he has this thing that's going to hide his face. I like that look. So that's better than leaving the face just then they're staring at you from the underside. Alright, some comparisons. Here is the G1 version of Kickback, and here is Titan's Returns in his bug mode. Now, Titan's Return actually has a more, I can say, complex transformation than does the Deluxe Class Legacy. G1 and this one transform very similar. They're pretty much just updating the G1 with this guy here. G1 actually has wheels, so he will roll. Not out for these guys because they're trying to be actual insects, not a mechanized version. One thing about Titan's Returns, you get these wings here that can be posed on the ball joints. That is cool, but you have more kibble because of that. And he also has a mask with eyes on the side that covers the head of the Titan's Returns. But the big thing I hate about the Titan's Returns version is that neck. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if I get closer. And it's very stressed under there. And it's the same kind of rubbery plastic that his antennas are made of. And that every time I got to twist this dude's head around, I'm just thinking eventually I'm just going to rip it off. So that's a comparison with the other Kickbacks. Here he is next to Kingdom Huffer, just to show how big he is. He's a lot bigger than Huffer in this mode, alt mode. And here he is next to Power the Prime's Deluxe Class Slug. So yes, this Kickback is a lot bigger than that. So if you have those Dinobots, it's a good thing they're updating the Dinobots, I'll put it that way. Alright, so final thoughts on Deluxe Class Legacy Kickback. My favorite figures so far are the Legacy Deluxes in robot mode. I just really love the actual robot mode look. Alt mode leaves a little bit to be desired, but hey, it's really mimicking G1 to a T, so it gets a pass, because that's what it's trying to do. If you want a more, I guess, complex version and a more correct scale version, you would have to go with Titan's Returns or the Legends version from Takara to get that. But otherwise, the pure look of this figure, I am just in love with. I really do like it. And I would definitely recommend it if you're an Insecticon enthusiast of any kind, or like insect or bug transformers. Anyway, thanks for watching this review. Until the next ones. Peace out.